Grandma, tell us a story. Yeah, a scary one. You kids will never learn. My stories aren't for faint-hearted. They stick to your bones and whisper to you at night. We're not scared. Yeah, we're not scared. Very well. It was a humid night in Kochi, the kind that left your skin sticky and the air thick with salt. Anaya adjusted the strap of her bag and glanced down at the length of the train, its windows glowing like yellow tired eyes in the dark. Kabir walked ahead, humming softly, moving through passengers with ease of someone who had done it 100 times. She followed him in silence, their fingers loosely intertwined. It was their first getaway together. For Anaya, it felt like the best one yet. The blue waters, the breeze tugging at her hair. She had never felt this close to Kabir. This kind of love, slow and intense. It was new and it felt undeniable. Coach S6, berth 27 for her and 28 for Kabir. The fans overhead sputtered to life as they settled in, the air still thick and sticky. Anaya exhaled deeply, feeling the warmth of Kabir's body beside her. He cupped her face gently, pulling her close, his whisper soft and familiar. It made her heart flutter.
I love you. Thank you for making this choice.
As soon as the train pulled away from the station, Kabir climbed into the upper berth, stretching with a content sigh. His voice, already fading, turned into a sleepy mumble. Anaya watched him for a while, his chest rising and falling steadily. He slept like a baby. But her gaze was soon interrupted. A mother walking past their berth dropped her baby's toy on the floor. Anaya reached down to hand it back. The toy was freezing. The woman didn't even blink. No smile. No thank you. Just a vacant look in her eyes. The baby clenched in her arms, glared at Anaya with a strange expression. It wasn't joy. It wasn't a curiosity. It was something darker. As if she was angry at her for being on the train. Anaya shrugged it off. She lay back, her head resting against the cold window, staring into the passing night. Her reflection blurred against the glass. Outside, the world slipped by. Shadows of tree blending into one another, station drifting past without a sound. Her phone, though, was dead. No signal, no bars. She frowned. That didn't make sense. This was a popular route, and it had never happened before. She glanced around. The coach was full, yet it felt empty, as if everyone inside it was just pretending to be real. No murmurs, no coughs, no lullabies, just the distant hum of the train crawling forward. Then she saw him. Across the aisle, a man maybe in his 40s, his grey skin under the yellow light. He was staring straight at her. Not curious, not aggressive, just staring, unblinking. unmoving, as if a portrait had come to life. Anaya looked away, trying to shake off the unease, laughing it off in her head. But when she looked back, he hadn't moved an inch. She shifted in her seat, cleared her throat. The air felt wrong, heavy, like breathing through damp cloth. She tried to focus on the rhythm of the train, but it was gone. The stillness had taken over. Kabir's skin was cold despite the layers of blanket. She sat up, reaching for Kabir's foot, nudging it gently. Hey, you awake? No response. She shook him a little harder. Still, nothing. Not even the rustle of a blanket. His body felt stiff, too still for sleep. Something coiled in her stomach. Not fear, not yet. Just a rising, unnamed discomfort. She looked around, trying to catch someone's eye, but no one moved. No one blinked. It was as if the entire coach had fallen under a spell. The man across the aisle was still watching her, his pupils dilated, his face drained of any warmth. Anaya stood up and started walking. Her heart drummed louder and louder as she walked from one end of the coach to another. She tried the connecting doors, but it was locked. It was sealed, like it had never been opened in years. She tried the other end and it was the same. No exit, no corridor, just her, Kabir, the silent passengers who stared at her blankly, and the man, always watching. When she turned back, her breath caught her throat. The man was standing beside her berth, as if distance meant nothing. His voice was low, but it pierced the silence like a needle through skin.
You're not supposed to be here.
Anaya gave him a puzzled look. Just when she was about to utter a word, he spoke again.
Kabir died last week. This is his last journey.
Anaya's knees gave out. She looked up. Kabir's face tilted slightly towards the ceiling. His eyes were shut with a stillness that no sleep could explain. His skin was ashen, lips drained of color, but he looked peaceful. The kind of tranquility she used to see when he had fallen asleep in her lap. Only now, it was the kind of peace you saw at funerals. Suddenly, everything came rushing back. The screeching of tires, glass shattering, his body limp in the driver's seat, the hospital, machine beeps, and then silence. She pulled her hair, trying to distract herself from the throbbing pain. Her hands trembled as she gripped the berth of the rail, trying to steady herself. And then she saw it. A white envelope. It was on her seat, her name written across it in a neat handwriting. Excellent calligraphy, one would say. It hadn't been there before. It felt like it had just arrived. She ran from one door to the next, pulling handles with trembling hands, but every door opened into the same coach. The same worn out seats, the same dull yellow lights humming above. Her breath now came in gasps, her hope fading with each turn. And then, there he was again, the same man, Now he seated where she first saw him. His eyes were closed now, as if his message had been delivered. Anaya collapsed back into her seat, broken and whimpering, when a ticket collector appeared. He didn't ask her for a ticket. He didn't even look surprised. It was as if her fear had summoned him. She clenched his arm like it was the last real thing in the world. Please, I need to get off this train. He looked at her with sorrow that didn't belong to the living. Then he placed his hand gently on her head.
Everyone on this train made their choice.
He said with his voice hollow. His touch felt like nothing, empty, but his words struck deep. Then he smiled, not kindly, not cruelly, just with pity. He picked up the envelope from her seat and placed it in her lap. He wished he could help her more, but he was proud of the choices she made. And with that, he turned and disappeared into the endless stretch of the train as if he had never been there at all. She wiped her tears, her fingers tearing open the envelope. Inside was a black ticket. No route, no timing, just her name alongside a mantra written in golden ink for moksha. Her fear didn't disappear, it just melted, settled like snow quietly resting on an empty road. Kabir's whisper echoed in her ears,
I love you.
and they finally made sense.
Thank you for making this choice.
She climbed the birth ladder slowly and lay down beside Kabir. He hadn't aged, not even a little. She placed her hand on his. It was cold, but familiar. I knew I couldn't go on living without you. The lights in the coach dimmed further. Outside the window, the night deepened. No stars, no moon, just blackness swallowing the horizon. And the train moved forward because some trains don't take you to a destination, they take you back to a decision. And some passengers board them willingly. That was scary. Where do you get these stories from, Grandma? Oh, I have my ways. Dead people talk a lot if you know how to listen. Sometimes I listen at their grave. Shh. They are still listening.